Leomord with the Irithel. This is a combination that we saw from Alter Ego yesterday as well. Leomord, Irithel, with the mobility that they have and with the support from the utility that they have from the team right now, from Mathilda and Farsa, they actually can run Bren Esports down, but they have to be careful because Bren will have a lot to say when it comes down to that CC game. With a heavy spin, even with the Gusion that I think is going to be on the hands of Few in the mid lane with a Petrify.
That's gonna be a tough question here for side of Bigatron, right? Because what I can see here, their comp is front to back, but very balanced. They have CC, they have a frontliner as well. But against Bren, that it seems like they are going for that pick-off tile and as well as kiting here. How is that gonna bode for this first game of MPLI? Again, the Battle of Bees is gonna commence.
Let's see what happens here. Again, we're gonna have to take a look once again at the draft for both of the teams. The Leomord and the Irithel stands out the most when you're talking about BTR's composition. Meanwhile, for the side of Bren, it's all gonna come down to that Gusion. And honestly,
I gotta say Akai.
I wouldn't say Kai actually. I would say Gusion and Benedetta because their composition wants to really dive into that back line, into the Farsa. Thing is, I think BTR knows that, and that's why they picked up the Leomord and Irithel. The Farsa might just be there as someone to poke, and once he's done with the Feather Airstrike, he's just a bait. They don't really want to play around the Farsa that much unless Farsa gets ahead early on.
Yes, so we'll see I guess the approaches from both of the teams here as we now are going to enter the Land of Dawn for our first game. The Battle of Bees starts now. Bigatron Alpha as well as Bren.
Yeah, it is Kaltizi in the jungle, so
wow.
The lineup, the sheets that came out definitely was wrong there. It is going to be Kaltizi who's now officially going to be playing in the jungle role. And Bren Esports with Akai. We'll see what happens here, right? Because Kaltizi is very comfortable on the assassins. He's also really good on the utility though, like the Akai. With this Akai though, I'm just trying to think. How are BTR going to face, how are they going to match up against this Akai? Because with the Leomord, with the Irithel, it all can just be shoved away by this Akai. By even Ogwen, who can pop the shield up for all the damage to be taken away. But it's actually going to be Ogwen who loses out in that trade there.
A fun fact though, that heavy spin can move Leomord and he might not be able to catch his horse.
You're right.
I've tested that. So, will we see that? That's the question. But I guess Kaltizi here, of course, Kai, his main job is, of course, to control and guarantee that neutral objective. And I guess, again, I can't stress this enough, Moreno, his impact in this game might be questionable.
We'll see, right? Because if Bren are able to dive in towards BTR, Moreno's going to have a tough time. But that's a big if, considering that BTR already have plan Bs towards that, right? They have Key that can really help Moreno. Moreno's also opted to go for the Flicker to get out of these sticky dives that Bren Esports can really place on them. But Moreno's looking for that mid-control. Meanwhile, Bren are just going straight for that Turtle and Chorizo.
2v1 here, Chorizo chunks, Claps easy, dealing damage as well. The Chorizos respond to damage as well. Now, final blow to dish out the damage onto his Turtle. Yeah, Kaltizi will secure it. Heavy spin finds Max, but no commitments for a fight. Ogwen will not use that flicker there just for a cover. Bren Esports playing this rather disciplinedly and of course objectively. A very, very good execution.
Good turtle take, right? And good stop on BTR's attempt to steal it here. Here, you can already see the gold lane as well. Marky is actually able to farm as well as he's able to rotate. He really leveled up his coin farming skills. And hey, you guys can do the same with HSBC. Go ahead and watch the videos on how to farm and spend gold in MLBB.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, another thing to note here from the side of Bren Esports is they have two Petrifies from Clap and as well as Fuse. So we'll see against this comp. I gotta say, it just might be effective. Now in the mid side here, 3v2, Feather Airstrike popped. Ogwen, it chunks it to 1 HP. Without the flicker as well, good calculation, but now he has to recall. Bigatron, can they exploit this rotation here, bot side?
What everyone can exploit is the unrivaled gaming experience that they can get with the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 5G. So if you're in the market for a good phone, go ahead and get yourself a Z Fold 4 5G. But you're right, BTR, right now, I think they're completely fine with actually playing the long game. They have a Farsa that scales pretty well into that later stage, and obviously the Irithel, right? The Leomord does fall off, the Paquito does okay, and that's the only thing they need to be worried about, but Cerezo,
God, the Petrified connects here, but Cerezo, a very well-timed skill used there to escape the pressure from Bren. He needs to recall here, but it adds more pressure. Few now almost gets taken down, will be taken down. Moreno collecting the first blood. A very good setup by Bigatron. Now Ogwen needs to be careful here. Still confident enough to be in that mid lane. But now they are now focusing on towards the bot side. Bren reads it out, and they back off from the fight.
Turtle here going to be advantageous for BTR as they do have that man advantage, but you can already see the setup from FlapTZ, cutting the waves. Cerezo doing the same thing here, just to get some more pressure down as Key's gonna be targeted. 2 stuns over the Key, but he can get out with the guiding win. Now it's a matter of setup once again. Marquis into the bottom side. Cerezo coming in mid lane.
Flanking, a very good output damage given. And now we can see here, FlapTZ, Union Blast to cover, but the Turtle will fall to the hands of the roamer by Bren. Now, war is brewing. Cerezo will not be able to escape. He gets taken down, but take a look at in the back lines that Super Marco forced to use a flicker. And now we can see here, again, the fight is still brewing. Guiding win on towards Moreno. A mistake perhaps. Gushin deals a lot of damage on towards that mid lane, but it will be a 1-for-1. The roamer catches the turtle, so it's still, I guess, a favorable trade for Bren.
Definitely a favorable trade, right? It's a 1-for-1, and guess what? Bren also get the turtle, so technically it's a 2-for-1. Bren are staying ahead constantly just by a little bit with these better objective secures on their side. You can see that in terms of the items as well. Marquis has opted to go for the Windtalker. Meanwhile, for Super Marco, he's already gotten the Hunter Strike with also his boots completed. He's going to have a little bit more physical defense to maybe win these duels in the gold lane. Meanwhile, the kill from the side of Bren was onto the hands of FlapTZ, and you can already see he's going to go for that Bloodlust Axe. Same, actually, right now. In terms of gold, he's leading against Cerezo, but both of them have that Bloodlust Axe to play with now with the sustainability.
Well, with this Hunter Strike, Super Marco, well, I guess what he wants to achieve is that movement speed, right? Hunter Strike provides that. So I guess with Super Marco, he's saying, sure, I have the flicker, but with that extra movement speed, I can escape, I can engage. But take a look at top side here, 2v1 Cerezo. Luckily, Few misses that dagger, but bot side, heavy spin pops on towards Moreno. He isn't able to escape, and that is a very good trade. But top side, Few gets taken out, finding slightly a compensation. The dive from Max. The assist also here. Cerezo needs to be careful. 1 HP. FlapTZ almost outplaying, but then again, he survived.
But it's going to be a turret take for BTR, honestly. They're going to go to the top side to take it. Meanwhile, Bren are looking for the trade, but Key's doing a really good job at stopping this. Stopping the minions as Marco comes in. They might actually be going for the engage onto Super Marco.
Union Blast catches Key there. A very good cover, but no commitments. A very good and disciplined take from the side of the Philippines. Bren would not like to overcommit, as of course the neutral objective here secured by FlapTZ. So 3 turtles falls to the hands of the Bren Esports. Now you're now seeing here again a reset for both teams. As of now, it is just Bren leading in gold by 1,000.
Here, though, they are still very energized, Gani, and they're playing like a winner. Maybe they have Omne on their phones right now as Moreno's looking for that kill. FlapTZ used the heavy spin and the retribution. 2 massive resources. BTR, this is their window to actually go and play it their way. And it looks like they are not going to be able to do anything here because it's just Bren moving backwards, getting these little wins on the board and staying disciplined.
I mean, that steal towards Max, a very crucial win. They didn't get the orange buff, but you can play your way with the Aurora collection by Logitech G. Again, welcome to a new age. With, of course, the Aurora collection. Again, Bren Esports back to the game here. The left core has been secured by Max. Extra penetration, but it seems like something is brewing in the mid side, but no teams seems like has the connection to find the right team fight.
BTR needs to go for an all-in with the composition they have right now. And the thing is, FlapTZ and Flap does such a good job at splitting them up with the final blow and with the heavy spin.
Take a look at that. Heavy spin connecting on towards Key. 5v4 now. It seems like Moreno with that feather airstrike failed to somehow give pressure towards the composition now. Bren Esports with the man advantage. They look for the pressure onto his mid. Flicker, Blast does not connect onto anyone. They just want the mid side, and they get it. Bigatron, they fail to defend the mid side, and that is going to cost them perhaps the next 2 or 3 minutes, which, of course, Bren will exploit with the space that they have now.
There are a lot of questionable decisions here being made by BTR, like Moreno's feathered airstrike. He feathered airstrike literally just a few centimeters, I guess, away. There's Few. Oh, just as I say it, Few comes in.
Chorizo still with the passive, the shielding there, surviving that 2v1, but that cost them the turret. Now, the Lord is up. Kyle TZ with the heavy spin on towards Key. He does not care, but now no fall damage just yet here as the Lord is just standing by. Max, though, seems like he wants to poke that Lord. We're going to see here, how will Bren approach this one? It seems like Bigatron, they are in nowhere place to secure the Lord. I might be wrong. He gets taken down. Feather Airstrike pops in, and the battle of the Retribution will be won by Max. A massive one as well, as they trade in Key for the Lord. And with this Lord, oh my God, the war, it's not done as Bren says, like, okay, the Lord is for you, but let me take down your jungler. 3v5 now.
A good response by Bren. They punish BTR for a BTR win right now. And it's actually going to be Bren who are able to push and take an objective, to be able to convert on an objective. 4,000 gold lead now, even though BTR has the Lord. And I'm pretty sure Bren will be able to clear out that Lord up top with no problems whatsoever, because they still have this man advantage and even a gold advantage to play with.
Again, a very, very strong display here from the side of Bren, taking the jungles. Moreno popping that feather airstrike just to clear the wave mid-side. Just be careful here again. Bren, they are ready for the war as topside Lord has been taken down by Gushin, but Bigatron finding the scraps here. Bot side tier 1 will fall as well.
It's just a trade coming in from BTR, right? They got the Lord. Unfortunately, they weren't able to utilize the Lord. And right now, Bren are pushing them so far back that BTR can't really go for these fights, can't really go for the invades, despite having a very aggressive composition. It all comes down to how Bren are able to disengage from these fights. Because BTR, like we mentioned, it's an all-in type of draft. Once they go in, once they pop those abilities, it's done. They need to burst Bren down. Bren can just fall behind, use one ability, or just like two abilities, two massive resources like the heavy spin and flap with the final blow to disengage first, and then you have so many resources to re-engage with Ogwen on a Invitational Blast, and again, there you go.
Oh my God, forcing Moreno to use that flicker. Re-engage though from side of Bigatron here, seems like. Oh, Flap will be the recipient of that circling eagle, but in the backside, Sororizo trying to steal some sort of damage. Bren looks for a counter re-engage now. Seems like he needs to be careful. Oh my God, 3 members on him. That's petrified as well, but with the flicker, he escapes. Bren and Bigatron throwing punches here, but no casualties as of now.
A good pullback for both of the teams. Initially, it was Bren who pulled back, then BTR had to fall back right after Bren were able to bait a lot of those resources to happen. But
my God, catches 3, and there you go, 1 by 1. Bodies for the side of Bren. 3 members taken out instantly, and Bren, with this timing here, can give extra pressure. 2 members left here. Sororizo and Key will not be able to do anything. Bren, my God, what a setup by Ogwen.
Oh man, it's absolutely nasty, that engage. And now Bren are going to be able to convert onto this objective. Not much that Key can do, not much Chorizo can do at this point. He might as well just go towards that top side, because if he shows in the mid lane, they're just going to be engaged on here. Max is up, Moreno as well. They might be looking for this.
Be careful, feather airstrike comes in, flickers away. Super Marco is going to be the target. Wind of Nature pops here. Wind with Chorizo. He gets down. No, he survives monster kill. What the heck? Flap TZ now engages towards backside. Be careful, a lot of damage has been put out. Flap gets taken down on the front side as well. Max will not be able to find anything. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-for-1 here with the Lord up. Bren Esports has all the time in the world to collect and grab this enhanced Lord.
That was insane by Super Marco. Holy moly! The way he just kited back, the spacing in between Super Marco and Cerezo and Key was phenomenal. The way he popped in with a nature, the Diffuser's passion as well. Just those clutch little decisions that he made in that fight that really helped him get that outplay on BTR's dive. 7,000 gold lead now, and it's looking over for game number 1 for now. But Ogwen,
Feather airstrike as well. Ogwen will be able to escape, but now Few jumps in on towards Moreno. The dagger doesn't really connect, but he jumps in with the circling eagle, combined by Cerezo with a strong pops, and of course Kyle TZ jumps in with the heavy spin. Catches Max, not enough damage, but there you go. Few is gone, but now the Lord marches 4v5. With the Lord, it's technically a 5v5. Let's see here. Bigatron, how will they be able to defend this? Super Marco targeting the base turret bot side. It seems like Bigatron Alpha now, they are still on defense mode. 4v4. Bigatron will take care of the Lord here. Bren will go for the disciplined play, will not look for that crazy engages just yet.
it's a very smart play, a wise play from Bren, right? They just lost Few in that engage, in that skirmish. They don't really need to be forcing anything here. With an 8,000 gold lead, they can play the long game. Meanwhile, BTR, they're the ones who are forced to make desperate plays on the map to come back from this situation. They need to be the ones who are looking for those coin flip moments, as Kyle TZ is looking for a cheeky pick here. Frontlining for his team, look at Flap.
Oh my god, Moreno again being the juicy target for Flap there. Does not really commit on towards that one just yet. Bigatron manages to defend the top base turret very well, but their base is quite exposed. Bren Esports still in the lead. Gold-wise, control-wise here. Oh my god, take a look at the snipe there from Super Marco. Bigatron, what can they do? Conceal play. Easy, trying to find Moreno, heavy spin on towards Moreno, petrify, everything connects on towards the mid laner, and one by one here, it seems like the base turret will fall, as now the base of the red robots is very exposed.
Very. 3 base turrets were taken down there in that skirmish. Finally, Bren were able to crack down on the final base turret, and BTR, currently, they just have no answer towards Bren Esports. Moreno popped in this feather airstrike so many times, but as we mentioned, it's so easy for Bren Esports to target him down. He's a sitting duck as the Forza when he pops in that feather airstrike. And even here, Max might just be the target of Kyle TZ's pick. Currently, they might not. They're just going to go for the orange buff. Max steals it, gets it though with the orange buff, with the retribution onto the orange buff, but 26 seconds now on the Lord.
Yeah, you know
looking
that
great for BTR.
Looking very grim indeed. I mean, it seems like your Bren, they are just, at this point, right? I mean, they are low-key toying with Bigatron here, but then again, they are playing very, very disciplinedly here at this point. Bigatron Alpha looking for anything that they can grab. Take a look at the setup by Gushin there. Bot side, will this mount to anything? It seems like no. Now the Lord is going to be the main focus from Bren.
Good opening for Key there. He spotted Few, but now look at the base. It's wide open. These minions are not being handled by BTR. In the bottom side, they're going to have to micromanage that as well, as the Lord has been taken down to a quarter of its health. BTR needs to go for it.
Now it seems like Kyle TZ will grab it, no problem. Key though now needs to be careful as Moreno cancel flickers away here. Now the engage from the side of Bren. It seems like Bigatron, they do not want business and backs off. A very, very good play from Bren, and Bigatron failed to find the loophole.
Yeah, that was just brilliant from Bren, right? They utilized the wave so well. They made BTR, they forced BTR to make those errors. BTR had to make a decision. Either they go on full defense and give the Lord over to Bren, or they try to make a desperate fight over and try to steal the Lord. Both aren't really good in that situation because, again, with the way he's pushing in, BTR can't really just fully defend there because it's going to be a free Lord. And even if they go for a desperate team fight, hey, Bren has a better team fight composition. Their composition literally counters BTR. So right now, it does feel like Bren are going to be able to close this game off. Not much BTR can do unless they pull off a miracle.
Let's see here, the offense and as well as defense. Lord already watching mid-side here. CloudTZ catches Key. He does not care, but take a look at the backside. CloudTZ trying to find something onto Moreno. The front side though, Super Marco just deals out damage and gets the godlike on towards Key. And now a 5v4. The minions comes in bot side and as well as top side here. Not looking good for the red robots. What can Bren do here? Seems like the base, again, it's quite exposed, but take a look at the stun on towards Torizo, and as well as Neon Blast catches Marquis exposed, and now with 5v3, can they do it? Winners Runch in a very clutch movement by Few.
Oh,
and take
Few!
a look at this, the outplay by the Bren side. It's just nasty to see. Now, Immortal Pulse, Max trying to do what he can, buying enough time, but double kill is secured by Few, and this is all she wrote. 5v1, a little too much, as the Bigatron will lose out game 1, and the Filipinos strike first.
Bren Esports absolutely outplaying Bigatron Alpha in game number 1. So many close fights there. Few getting out with 1 HP, outplaying Torizo, outplaying Moreno. And we definitely can't forget that Super Marco kite back. That's game number 1 for Bren Esports. Bigatron Alpha will need to adapt a whole lot if they want to beat this team.
It's amazing to see the level, the quality level from the Bren side. Bigatron Alpha could not withstand, could not